Let's get one more with Arnold. That was disappointing. We need to get some max cred. Predator was just everywhere. The Predator was just everywhere. It was frolicking like a little schoolgirl. This will be the last match, and we'll look at some Dutch tips.
Guerrillas contracted through Stargazer have established a foothold in the region. We'd like to use this opportunity to let Stargazer know we're not to be fucked with.
Why is no one playing as Yautja's Bane? That's bullshit. Why do you gotta be some random dickheads? Everyone, don't look at my porn stash. Don't look at my wrist communicator.
Fire team is go. Good luck out there.
It's funny that Arnold gets a fucking wrist computer like the Predator. He just like grabbed his stash.
Still works.
Still gross.
Rendezvous at the helipad at these coordinates. They should have what we need.
We got to follow this Red. We got to follow Ren Visla. Why are you guys hugging each other? Let's go. I see you on the mini map. Muddy it up as fast as we can.
Find a working SATCOM.
Contact.
We have intruders in the area.
It's all of
Be
them.
on alert. Shoot anything that moves. I've got radios lighting up. They're gonna be looking for you, fire team. That'll work. Give me remote access. Locked out? Fuck these fucking PMC assholes.
Fucking PMC
All right, find me some
assholes.
passcodes. Check this location.
This way! All enemy just arrived.
Trust me when I tell you to keep moving and stick together. We have a mission to complete.
There! Over here!
Was he downed already? Oh dear.
Mudding up.
out and get his code.
Commander. Cover me.
Head back to the helipad and access the SATCOM.
Access the SATCOM. We got to stick together.
We've got to sync with the satellite, but comm chatter suggests we've been a little too loud. You got incoming, fire team. Defend the terminal until we finish the sync.
Still works.
Still gross.
Enemy interference on primary objective.
Enemy spotted.
Sync looks good. Just need to pick a target. Here we go. There's a multi-billion-dollar installation at the following coordinates. Plant a beacon at that location and we'll warm up the laser.
I will warm up the laser. Okay. We good? Come on, go. Let's get the fuck out of here. We gotta get to the next objective.
Defend the beacon while we get the platform aligned. Reinforcements are on the way!
Cloak isn't perfect. Watch for movement.
I hear a predator.
Get down.
Hands.
Flashbang out. Eyes down. There. Look for the shimmer.
Hear a predator. Predators everywhere.
This way.
Ammo here.
We are locked and loaded. Sending coordinates for maximum safe distance. Double time it, fire team. I'd say that's a successful test. Alright, Voodoo, pack it in.
Mission complete. Let's get to the chopper.
Let's get to the chopper. He set the thing. He set the thing. Let's get to the chopper.
Perfect. Watch for movement. Down.
Fire team members down. Stick to the mission.
We got to go, team.
Hang tight, fire team. Heading to you now. Plan spotted. Moving in on the intruder. Motherfucker! I just found a way to get you guys some help. Marking your map.
Got to get the fuck out of here.
Sending in back up.
Can't move. Hold it together.
I
Missed
reached
out.
the flat line. Keep it together, Voodoo. Can't stick around, Voodoo. You got 30 seconds and I'm gone.
Get the fuck out of here! Get the fuck out of here! Alright. We made it. Let's go. He trapped me in the net.
Losing
That
soldiers
mask
is
does
never
look
easy,
cool.
Voodoo, but we got the job done. We can be proud of that.
Yes, we got to leveled up. That's good. We got to leveled up. Alright, that's good. That's good. Made it out of there alive. God. We got like 3 field lockers. I like these. I like these. Yes! More predator skins. Shaders. Yay. A shader for the handheld caster? I like it. Alright, chat room, let's look at some dank predator lore. We're gonna go over my predator logs. We're going to go over my predator logs. I hope you get to listen to. These are very important information. I will disclose it only to you, chat room. I trust you with my life and soul. You better not backstab me like Dylan. He was such a bitch. He was a cool dude until he betrayed me, and then we were looking for CIA operatives, and then he had to die on his own. What a piece of shit. Okay, first tape. You get a close look at my loins.
It's September 12th, 1987. My name is Major Alan Schaefer, also known as Dutch, U.S. Army veteran, Special Ops Commander, and the only survivor of the Valverde incident. These tapes are my personal testimony. Insurance. Should anything happen to me, what I found won't be lost. My team was brought in to rescue a Guatemala cabinet minister and his aide, who had been captured by guerrilla forces in Valverde. We located the downed helicopter, and the skinned bodies of those aboard hung in nearby trees, seemingly at the hands of guerrilla fighters. After assaulting their camp, it became clear that the mission was a setup. American intelligence had sent us to retrieve the captured agents who had been on recon for future military action. But none of that matters, because while we were clearing out the guerrillas, something was hunting us. An invisible killer tracked us as we made our way to the extraction point. In 24 hours, it wiped out my entire team. Rick Hawkins, Blaine Cooper, Mac Elliott, Billy Soul, Jorge Ramirez, and Al Dillon. The best soldiers I've ever known. Men I trusted with my life were butchered like animals. It was a nightmare. We walked in with guns, but it had perfect camouflage, advanced weaponry, and could see heat. It was strong and smart, a pitiless hunter. I waited, I watched, and when I understood it, when I saw how it hunted, I killed it. As it lay dying, in a final fuck you, I activated an explosive device. I barely escaped that blast. My radiation sickness and the crater of the explosion are the only evidence it ever was here. I've given my official statement to Agent Peter Keyes of the OWLF, but it's become clear I needed to investigate Valverde myself. Keyes was thorough, but he asked all the wrong questions. I mean, we have proof of alien life, but that life sees us as game. It's an alien whose first contact with humanity was to hunt us for sport. All Keyes cared about was the technology lost in the explosion. He can see the jungle for the trees. I see the threat. He sees the opportunity. Spies are all the same. I mean, we aren't people to them. We are assets. How many soldiers would he feed to those monsters just for a chance to steal from them or to learn from them? The government can't be trusted. So I'll have to do this on my own. I'm cutting my treatment short and going off the grid. I will make my way back to South America to Valverde. I was told that there were stories about demons who make trophies of man. I'd like to hear those stories.
So that was pretty cool because It's like a quick recap of Predator 1, and it gives us a little bit of insight of what happened to Dutch after Predator 1. He was basically like brought into questioning by Peter Keyes, and Peter Keyes reminds me of the cassette tapes from MGS5. Yo, right? Oh, holy shit, yo. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I forgot there were cassette tapes though. Holy shit, I didn't know. But yeah, like Peter Keyes. Keyes was the government agent in Predator 2 with Donald Glover. He's like a fucking alien, you know, that guy. And he just basically questioned Dutch about, you know, what happened? Did you come in contact with the alien? Did you get all of his assets? Dutch was like, my men just died and you don't care? Ah, fuck this. Fuck these yahoos. I'm going to like Valverde to hunt more predators. Now this will be the next one. This is I've not heard of, and this was like, wow, 3 years after. What the fuck? Ooh, I wanna know. The Arnold wants to know about my previous adventures. Stated with folklore on April 8th, 1991.
It's September 12th, 1987. My name is Major Alan Schaefer, also known as Dutch, U.S. Army veteran, Special Ops Commander, and the only survivor of the Valverde incident. These tapes are my personal testimony. Insurance. Should anything happen to me, what I found won't be lost.
Hey. Ah, there you go.
April 8th, 1991. I'm not dead yet. I'll admit, I regret not curing my radiation sickness before I left. It made leaving the country difficult. I cashed in a few favors, took one too many off-the-book flights in rusted-out buckets, but I made it back to Valverde. The area was on lockdown, sealed by American intelligence for study. The complex centered on a crater from the alien self-destruction. I found the scientists slumming in a local bar. A few drinks, a couple of threads later, he was ready to talk. It wasn't much, barely anything I didn't already know. The blast emitted a form of radiation they'd never seen before. Some believed it was extraterrestrial, some didn't. Either they're not too bright, or there's nothing to find. I decided to let them keep searching in vain. It kept them busy and off my trail. I've been touring villages and small towns using the cover of an author writing about South American folklore. I don't know if any of them bought in, but they took my money and told their stories. The closer they were to the jungle, the more stories of devils in the trees. Some were bullshit.
Some were
made up on the
bullshit.
spot, but some carried consistencies that I couldn't ignore. Whatever it was, the demons who make trophies of man, the devil of the trees, or the skull taker, the stories always began on the hottest summer that they could remember. In the summer of 1987, Valverde Valley broke its all-time high in temperatures. They love the heat. It must remind them of home. Everything else confirmed the truth of the stories. Proud warriors skinned and hanged, skulls and spines ripped from their bodies. Maybe it was obvious from the beginning, but it wasn't until I heard the stories that I truly accepted the purpose of these mutilations. I mean, they're taking trophies. They travel impassable distances to hunt us, skin us, and mount us over some alien fireplace on another world.
Dutch
It would
gets
be
it.
disgusting if it weren't so familiar. Where do I go now? It's been on my mind all year. The takeaway from all this intel is that they've been doing this for decades, centuries maybe. They're coming back, and I need to be there when they do.
So Dutch was just like was just like riding around. He assumed like the cape, assumed like the disguise of an author, and just like was just finally made it to Valverde, and makes a decision that he's gonna stand and fight against the predators. Holy shit, Dutch is like, you know, renegade vigilante. Dutch is really renegade vigilante.
June 27th, 1992. It's hard to remember that the most important part of an operation is patience. You can plan the perfect op, but you can't account for everything. If shit goes south, there's nothing to do but to adapt and finish the mission. Sometimes you just get lucky. I was in the dock, 10 clicks downriver from the Valverde border, figuring out my next move. I was ready to pack it in. I mean, I thought that I learned everything that I could, that there was nothing left for me to find. The OWLF had abandoned the detonation site a year ago, and I thought that they already shipped back to America. That's when I saw Agent Peter Keyes tie his skiff to the dock. I mean, I haven't seen Keyes since I gave my official statement to him. It was impossible, but there he was, with 3 of his buddies. All agents. I mean, the clean, tidy outfits give them away all the time. I mean, they don't want to get down in the dirt, you see. That's what they pay soldiers to do. Keyes walked up, looked right at me, and shook my hand. I mean, with the radiation sickness, I've lost a lot of weight, so I thought that he maybe would not recognize me, but then he greeted me like we were old pals. Keyes is a good spy, saying nothing, implying everything. We spent the next few hours trading war stories at the bar. If you had heard us, you would never have suspected we were trading intel on an alien manhunter. His cover was that they have been looking for a serial killer, a sadist who has been operating in the area for years, hunting people like animals and then skinning them alive. Keyes wanted to talk about the monster, so it all came out in the cover story. In many ways, they were just a few steps behind, surveying villages for information, locating witnesses. He did confirm one thing that only considered. He told me how the killer chose his victims. They were always armed. A rifle, a pistol, a knife in a boot. He wasn't taking kids or random villages. He wanted a challenge. Whatever it was a hunter. When it killed for sport. I wish they were here for a military action, recon for an invasion, but the truth was so much worse. We are prey, animals, fit only to be hunted. Keyes and his buddies paid the tab and mine, but before he left, he winked at me and he said, "Stay out of the jungle. That's where he gets you." I tracked Keyes and his team for weeks, but they didn't learn anything new. Maybe they knew that I was there, maybe they didn't, I don't know. I've risked enough for now. I think it's time to disappear. Keep my ear to the ground. Be patient.
See, there you go, because, you know, that's what I've been saying. Like, predators like a challenge. They like the sport, the thrill of the hunt. No, they just like go planet to planet collecting war trophies so that they could like brag about it with their brothers or sisters. But only they hunt in warm weather. If they go out in cold weather, they just get the fuck out. They can't stand cold weather. They're like fucking reptiles. They like the warm weather. They don't like cold atmo. So they just like peace out whenever there's like an Arctic storm. And Dutch and Keyes being like good pal buddies, man. Even though he's a government spy. Like they were just like broing it out. They're just like broing it out, man. Yeah, their skin looks reptilian. Yeah, right? They are fucking reptiles. They are fucking reptiles. They just like hunt. They just like hunt in warm weather. They don't like the cold. What is this one? 80s? Let's see.
March 3rd, 1996, Zaire. I thought I could wait. I thought that I could hold back and make my move at the right time. I couldn't. Fuck. I had to find them. I needed to hunt it or let it hunt me. I joined up with any private military company that was headed into the hot zone. I pulled every string, cashed out every favor just to follow the sweat and the death that attracted the demon. I eventually put together a team myself. Lost soldiers and haunted men, willing to fight and to die wherever I led them. They thought that I was a legend, and I let them believe that. I'm quiet and good in what I do. They needed them to see me as a legend, so that they could take them to die in a sweltering jungle. We went on more missions than I can remember. We didn't fire until we were fired at. They thought that it was my code. It wasn't. I was waiting and watching. Our last mission was an evac op in the Congo. A private munition base had gone dark. When we arrived, they'd been dead for days. Bodies strung up on floodlights around the base, all of them skinned, some missing skulls and spines. We secured the site and waited for backup to arrive. In the heat of the day, I stared into the waves of heat coming off the concrete, thinking that any minute they might come alive as the invisible killer. And then they did. I didn't wait. I unloaded every round I had.
Holy shit.
Trusting me, my team fired in the same direction. It wasn't the first time I'd done it, but this time I knew what I was looking for. It was so fast, we couldn't hit it. We panicked, and stray rounds struck the crate of RPGs. And that explosion hit other munitions that exploded. By the time the smoke cleared, the demon was dead, but so were all my men.
Oh god. Oh
I took
god.
samples of its blood, pieces of its anatomy, and what tech that I could salvage. And then I burned everything. Then it disappeared. I never checked in with HQ. As far as I know, I was counted among the dead.
God damn. Dutch became fucking cold-hearted. Like, I thought that his talk with Keys made him like, you know, he's a government spy, like him. You know, but then again, he distrusted the government after like what happened in the after what happened with the first encounter of the first Predator. But now, he was like, in Valverde, he put up a ragtag group of, you know, killers like himself, basically like a second team like the first team of the first Predator film. And so they've hunted down the Predator, and just like, and they just like blitzkrieg, like, you know, like they shot everything to Kingdom Come to hunt and kill the Predator. Dutch just used like this second team as like body bags, collateral damage, just to get to the Predator. And when that shit's done, collected everything and then burned everything. What the hell? Dutch is like, wow. Alright. Alright. I see, Dutch. I see what you're into, Dutch. I see that war has changed some men. War has changed me. I will do whatever it takes to hunt down this son of a bitch.
October 12, 1997, Los Angeles. I needed to come back to the States. It wasn't impossible to sneak contraband through customs, but I wasn't willing to risk what I found in a cargo falling into the wrong hands. Instead, I traveled to Mexico aboard a cargo ship bound for the port of Altamira. From there, I made my way to Tijuana, and I bunkered down. I had tangible proof of extraterrestrial life in my possession, but no idea what to do with it. I'm not a scientist. I did a soldier's duty and secured valuable intel. This was out of my pay grade. I kept an eye on the news. Los Angeles was having a record-breaking heat wave and a gang war on the streets. It was perfect. I could feel it in my bones. I'd been tracking them for so long, I could think like them. I could smell the prey. I could see the hunting ground. I had to get to LA.
Ooh.
Crossing back into the States from Tijuana wasn't that difficult, but by the time that I'd reached the city, it was already over. Like Valverde, the OWLF only found crumbs. What I'd hoped might be an alien ship turned out to be only a launching site. I wanted it too much, and I got sloppy. I breached the OWLF's quarantine and was captured. I'd hoped to be bailed out by Agent Keys, but he died. With Keys gone, the OWLF was leaderless and disorganized. I was interrogated, but I negotiated my release by bartering the alien materials that I'd recovered from the Congo. During the negotiations, it was clear how little they knew. They needed someone who understood the threat, so I offered to work with the OWLF as a consulting advisor. They had the funding, the technology that I needed to continue my hunt. I wouldn't work for them, but I would work with them. There will be a weapon that I can use to hunt down these predators as they move to fresh ground. It's only a matter of time until they see us as a real threat. When the prey can fight back, it's no longer a hunt. It is war.
Oh, wow. So Dutch made it into Predator 2, and you found out that Keyes died because of the events of Predator 2. And so he just assumed the role of what Keyes was. He was the head of OWLF, and he didn't want to be a leader. He was like a advisor, and he just brought all of his intel, all of his experience, all of like the materials he gathered from the Predator fights, and he was just arming up the base. And so when the Predator comes next time, they'll be like, alright, time to bring out the big guns. It'll be an all-out war. Oh wow, holy shit. I kind of want to unlock the rest of these logs, man. But you have to get to like 32, 40. Oh my god, you have to like grind so much just to get these audio tapes. Fuck, I want to know more. I want to know more. Will this like coincide with like the Predator, the recent one? Will this like have like an interaction with what was it? Wayland Yutani from the Alienverse? I want to know, man. It's getting me curious. I want to know more about Dutch lore. I want to know more about the Dutch lore. Fuck.